Hello, I want to continue from where I left. For me, life has not been easy. I did not judge my life because I was a child that listened to instructions. I listened to my parents. I corrected when I was wrong. They corrected me, and I was not the know-it-all kid. I was learning still. When my mother gave me instructions and she went to look for my dad, I listened to her. I never left the house. I never ran to neighbors for help because if I didn't know how to do it and I messed up, I messed it up on my own. I learned on my own. Now I realize practice make perfect, and I'm a workaholic. And I never say no to anyone, not my grandmother, not an elderly person, not my neighbor, not a family member. I mean, they would tell you everything I learned on my own, messing up, burning myself, burning my hair, lighting the stove in the later stages of my life. And my hair didn't smell good, but I used to think, what's burning? I didn't even know my hair got burned while trying to light a stove, a primer stove. It was very dangerous then because sometimes it just blows up, and the old paraffin, the fire is above that gas cooker, and I just kept quiet. Even when I cut my fingers, I bottled the pain and I wiped the blood, and I continued to try to cut whatever I was cutting. I didn't even know how to use a knife. I didn't know how to light a stove. I didn't know how to do anything right, but all I did was just try to help my poor mother that was stressed and 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 and, and, and worried and and trying to figure out what is next or what to do or how to do it. It all came naturally. Nobody taught us anything. We made the yard dirty. We threw papers in the yard, but finally we had to pick it up ourselves because we made the dirt, we cleaned it. And sometimes you don't take things and put it in the bin, you throw it in the yard. Not that somebody's watching you, you don't know anything, you're learning on your own. And I must say, I wasn't strong. I wasn't, I didn't know anything, but I tried. I tried through my failure. I tried through my accidents. My brother and I, sometimes we fussed. Only thing he used to do is go to the shop, buy bread. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to do anything. But we were unity, we worked together, we helped one another. He never carried the children because he don't know how to carry. He didn't know. He was a tiny little boy also. His pants used to fall off his bum. My mother used to put braces to hold the tiny pants on him. That's how he was. A plumpy little boy with a tiny little figure and not fat. None of us were fat when we were growing up. None of us overate because there was no food for us to overeat. And we tried, we didn't complain. There was nothing to complain. There was nobody that could hear us. But we continued. My poor mother tried. And I think while we struggled, nobody came and gave us anything because I said in the beginning that they were afraid of the polices that were in and out of our house. They were looking for evidence. We knew nothing. Sometimes we looked at them and said to my mother, what are they looking for? Mother said, I don't know. She left the house open for them. I think at one time my mother was so angry. We didn't even collect any finances. We didn't even collect groceries. She was angry because my brother's clothes were in a little packet, and on top of the drawer, those huge wardrobes where we pack our clothes. Not like today, we have built-in cupboards. And she was angry with the police. She said, leave that bag there. There's nothing in there. That's my child's clothes. And she burst out crying, and they had just left that there. and the police would walk around to see in the yard what they can find. But there were spies around us. I don't know, we never see them speaking, but that's what I thought. Could be somebody is telling and informing these polices. But police will do what their duty, what they have to do. We didn't know the procedure, we didn't know how polices operate, but they need to do their job. We were not angry with them, we were not disappointed. We just took life one day at a time, thinking, oh my God, whether to, when we went to school, we never got the bus. We were still in Clearwood School, we never got the bus on time. There were no buses in our area. There was no shops around us. Everything was an effort for us to walk or do something. I wouldn't say we were brave children. I wouldn't say we were frightened children. But we were obedient, just listening to my mother and trying to help her. Not doing big things, but little things. When I say little things, we waited for her to come home and make tea and try something. If I couldn't make or you didn't have, we didn't have enough groceries in our cupboard for me to just do whatever I want to. If I did what I want to, I'll get burnt. I cut my hand. I was dangerous in the kitchen, like I said. But I tried. It took us long, but we tried. We got no help in the beginning. I mean, if you don't speak, who knows you're struggling or you're battling? And we wouldn't, like I said, I didn't go to the neighbors and I didn't ask them for anything. But my mother, when she was at home and she couldn't get someone to look after the children. Some days she skipped. She didn't go to the prison looking for my dad. She tried to make something, cutting herbs from the garden. There was no herbs, putting potato and braising it. You know, my mother took the little and she stretched it and she gave the whole lot of us to eat. Even if we all had half, little food, we ate, we shared, and this is how we lived. Only in the latest state, I mean, we went to school, like I said, we didn't have buses. We take the bus. We come home 10 o'clock in the night. My mother is standing by the bus stop, and it was quite a distance to walk. My mother would stand by the bus stop, and the moment we hear a voice, oh, my heart will be at ease. My mother is around. We don't have to fright in the dark. Sometime after 10, we'll come home, and my poor mother would leave the children, and like I said, they played with water and mud and stayed at home. How they went to the toilet, I don't really know. I can't tell you, but I know they were abused in the day. And even when I know who did what they did, and they pinched my sister in the face, my brother also pinched other children. I can't say they were innocent children in all this. They were children, and children will be children. And we can't stop that when we're not around. But when I was around, they'll stay in the house, they'll play in the yard, they'll make the yard so dirty with all the tins and newspapers, and throw the dirt all over, cut the leaves and cut the plant. Well, for me, it was not important. Those things didn't interest me, because as long as my brothers and sisters were safe, and like I said, nobody did harm when I was at home. But when I was away in school, there's a lot of things happen. And like my youngest brother tells me now, Ricky is now 59, and he says to me, I was also abused. I didn't understand what is abuse. I didn't know what is somebody touching you in the wrong place. I didn't know what was rape. I didn't know what was when somebody does something to you. I didn't know that was abuse. But we were abused. We were abused.